Hello people, let's talk about The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. In this video, I'm going to tell you about how I chose this book, why I chose it. I'm going to tell you shortly about the contents of a few chapters. Then I'm going to tell you my general experience of the book and my opinion of it. And a conclusion. That's it. Let's get into it. I've been looking for a 5-hour book on self-improvement to read, and so I typed it in Google. 5-hour books on self-improvement, and I found a list that was published on Amazon of a lot of books on self-improvement, and a few of them were 5 hours, and one of them stood out in particular, which is this book, because its title is kind of standing out. And when I saw it, I remembered that I already saw it a few times earlier within review videos and within Audible. And I figured that if it appears in Audible many times, then it must be a bestseller. And if it's a bestseller, then most probably it's a good book. So, having those initial ideas, I proceeded to checking it out a little bit further, a little bit deeper, with Patrick's decision process, with which I usually do it. If you've been watching my earlier videos, then you probably already know that. So, in Patrick's decision process, there are 4 factors. The first one is the author. So I went on and read about the author in Wikipedia and researched a little bit about him, and found out that this author is Mark Manson. He's a very good blogger, which by itself was already very attractive to me, because a very good blogger is a model for me, and if he has written a book on how to live and how to improve, then I most definitely want to check it out, because he could teach me a lot of things, especially in my line of job. Then there is this. I already also found out that it indeed is a bestseller book. And then there is the subject that I've already been looking for in the beginning, which is self-improvement. So the subject fits me. Then there is the reviews. I've mainly looked at 3 video reviews on YouTube, something like 20 minutes, and I figured out that this book indeed has gems of knowledge, and the last criteria is the credibility of recommender. So there was no recommender, but the other 3 criteria are great. And that's it. Chapter number 6. You're wrong about everything, but so am I. So what does the author mean by this title? What he means is that a lot of us define ourselves in certain ways. For example, if someone defines himself as an athlete, he would live up to his expectation and try to do the best of the running he can, for example, and show all the rest of the people that he's such a great runner. But the danger when we define ourselves in these ways is that we put ourselves boundaries. And if we have a goal that doesn't fit with this definition, say, now we want to start a business, and we've defined ourselves as athletes, then this could put boundaries on us, you see? This could say that we have to practice for 6 hours in sports, and because we already defined ourselves, it would be very difficult to move from it. So the key is to understand that we are doing this, and that this affects us, our own definitions. Also, all of our basic definitions and all of our basic assumptions might be wrong. Everything, completely everything. Yes, I know, it's horrifying to grasp that, but when you understand that, you'll be a lot more free and will be a lot more able to achieve your goals. Chapter number 9, and then you die. So Mark does a psychological analysis of our fear of death and of the way we look at death. He explains that death does not have to be something negative, but rather it could be something positive. It is the thing that gives significance to our lives. And this is the reason that we strive to do the things we do. This is the reason that we build all those things, that we build buildings, that we invent things, because we are afraid of death and we want ourselves to continue, and that's why humans do that. Also, he explains that we could be looking at it as something that helps us decide on things in life. So if we have a hard decision, or if we want to know the right way, we should just put it in perspective to death and understand that if we were to die in 5 years from now, how would we act right now? That and other psychological analysis and examples of his own life he gives in this chapter. So if a friend were to ask me what I think of this book, I would tell him that this book is about psychology, philosophy, self-improvement in general, relationships, and a lot of other great stuff that could help you develop in life. Something that especially affected me in this book was when Mark spoke about the way that we define ourselves and our identity. When he spoke about the fact that all the things that we are in fact our choice. And the way he explained it was so great and affected me so much that I felt like there was an earthquake below my feet. It made me lay down on the floor and look at the ceiling and think of life. And if that's what happened to me, a person who read 20 or 30 self-improvement books and is now aware of a lot of the concepts of this area, then I'm sure that it would make maybe the same effect, or maybe even a larger one, on a person who didn't read that much books or read that much books. It doesn't really matter. I think that the way that Mark puts the things are quite bold and help understand it in a new and sort of in a new and different way, the way of Mark, and helps connect maybe to the things he says better than other writers. Thank you for listening and watching. If you liked the video, please do leave a like button below. If you didn't like it for some reason, or there are parts that you didn't like, please comment it below. Also, if you have a book suggestion for me on self-improvement, also put it in the comments below. I might just read it. I'm reading a lot of books lately. If you want other videos of reviews of other books, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you could see the videos in your feed. And that's it. Thank you very much. You're great, guys. Keep working.